It's like pissing off an angry cat.
Welcome to the Ass Podcast, everybody. The Animation Success Stories podcast. If you've never watched this show before, what we do here is we talk to animation industry professionals and we learn about their story. Their story. Their story. And
can you talk like that the whole time?
I can and I will.
Okay, cool.
We learn about their story. We learn about the trials and the tribulations that they had to go through, the mountains they had to climb, the rivers they had to traverse in order to get to where they are. And hopefully we give every aspiring person out there that wants to be in the animation industry some good advice, some good ass advice. Get it? Double entendre. I'm getting better at this every time. Today we are talking to Kali Fontecchio.
You said my name right.
I did.
He's good at that. He knows what he's doing.
Except the one time we had Erica Hayes and I said Erica Keys.
Yes!
I still feel bad about that.
Well, that's just. Are you dyslexic?
Keys,
no, because
keys
there's
on
Eric
Venice.
Keys.
Because I'm dyslexic.
And I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, so today we have Kali Fontecchio. We're going to talk to her and find all... is it okay if I say we find out about your ass? That's what I usually say.
Yes.
But I want to ask for consent this time.
Yeah, no. My ass is great.
Okay, we're going to find out all about her ass after this. Be sure. Hey, man, and women, and people, and humans. We're back here on the Ass Podcast with Kali Fontecchio. In case you didn't know, she is a character designer and a visual development artist for film and for TV. Her designs can be seen on things like Nickelodeon, Amazon, DreamWorks, Cartoon Network, just to name a few.
All the studios.
All the studios
Well,
in existence.
okay, not all of them.
And also you're...
Most of them?
You're a singer-songwriter, right?
Yes.
In Kali Kazoo?
Yes.
Is that like your alter ego, or is that the name of your band?
It is both.
Both. Check it out, Kali Kazoo. We're going to find out all about her right now, and we're going to start off by asking the question we usually start off with. What got you interested in animation? What's your first animation memory?
Oh, boy. Okay. I have a bad memory.
Think back.
Okay, so my dad... he's really into animation as well, and he was super into Disney and Fleischer cartoons and Warner Brothers. So I grew up with all these Laserdiscs that my dad bought. So I was always watching all of the Disney shorts, all of the Warner Brothers shorts, all the Fleischer cartoons.
Like the 30s shorts, right? 30s,
yeah, and all on like crisp, laser quality, like DVD quality. I mean, DVDs are no different than Laserdisc. Wow. Can I just explain that? And we had a big screen TV that I'd watch them on, and I was just like transfixed. I also would watch Devo Music Video Collection. I thought that was the same thing as cartoons. There was no difference in my mind.
Even
so there you go.
There were live action people running around.
You know, when you're a kid, you don't realize what. Like, I didn't differentiate cartoons from live action for years after. Wow. It didn't seem like it just seemed the same to me. Like,
how old were you when you were watching these videos?
Like probably like 3, 4.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. 3 and 4.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
You don't know what's going on.
I mean, I was slow.
So we all are. So 3 and 4, you're watching these 1930s Fleischer and Disney. You're watching the 1940s Warner Brothers and everything like that.
Yeah.
And everything in between. So is that when you were like, I want to do this, or was that a little older?
No, so that definitely made me like draw all the time, and my parents noticed I was like pretty good at it. And my dad, like, so before I was born, and so, you know, not with any anticipation of a child being born that would be into it, he went to Disneyland right on the first release of when they released the famous animation book, The Illusion of Life. And he bought a copy, and it had like the film strip from Bambi in it and all that. And so I had that. I had access to that growing up, and like I would open it, and my dad would be like, "Be really careful. It's like worth a lot of money." I'm like, but yeah, no. I think he was just like, I was immersed in it, you know. And I grew up here in Southern California, so we'd go to Disneyland all the time, and I loved it. Yeah, no. And like they started noticing I was drawing really well, and I was pretty like dumb and slow. Like I think I got held back from kindergarten. I got kicked out of preschool because they tied me up, or I guess my mom pulled me out. I was so rowdy.
This
yeah,
is great.
I got kicked out of.
They tied you up because you were that out of control.
Yeah, I would not participate in nap time. I would just be like bouncing off the walls, like screaming and running around.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they tied me up. So I think my
that's
mom
not
pulled me
allowed.
out of preschool when she found that out. She
How
got
do
really
they tie
pissed.
you up? They like
I
tie
don't
your
know.
feet to the desk or something?
I have no idea. Put me in like a
insane.
sleeping bag or something. I have no idea. I don't remember any of
Where'd
this.
you go to elementary school? Where'd you go to preschool?
See, I don't know where preschool was. I think it must have been in Westchester, California. But I grew up in El Segundo mostly by LAX.
That's terrifying.
I left my wall in El Segundo. Very racist. Don't go there.
I've been.
But yeah, no, I remember, like, so you know what it was? So, okay, I there was a year off where I should have been in preschool. So then my mom like enrolled me in those like summer like they would have classes at the local park.
Yeah, sure.
The rec center or something. And so I got kicked out of ballet. I got kicked out of tap. I got kicked out of the cooking class.
You're
and
just a badass.
it was
That's
like,
great.
and it was like a bad pattern. Like, oh, this is a problem child. Like,
Yeah.
she's not very bright, and I couldn't read that well. I was dyslexic, or still am, but I'm better now.
I just can draw well.
Yeah, no, there you go. Yeah, but so that's what happened. So then she enrolled me in drawing class, and then I blew everyone away.
Wow.
Like,
at what
and I
age-
would be quiet. I would sit and draw.
Wow, for the first time ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they figured out. Like,
What-
oh, that's how you shut her
What
up.
age did you go to drawing class?
Oh, I think it was 4. It was before kindergarten, 4 or 5.
So you did all those other things within like that span?
Yeah, and I think it was just because like I was not in preschool, so then she like
Found
you
other
know yeah, and then I
activities
think I think it's like everyone my age, which you'll have to just guess what it is. I'm not gonna tell you. All my like they all graduated a year above me. Like I should have been in their year, so I was like a year back.
Gotcha.
It's okay to be
It's all
dumb.
good. You know, age is just a number anyway, right?
Ageism.
Age is up.
Uh,
So wait, so
yeah.
you were like an amazing artist as young as like 4. You were just always
Yeah.
like the one that stood out.
No, definitely. Like especially in my school, I was like one of 2 artists, but I was definitely the most prolific artist.
As a kid, what did you draw as a little kid?
My mom saved some drawings from when I was a little kid that looked crazy. Like I used to like okay, this is how, okay. I would draw like animals, and I would differentiate a boy and a girl versus like what kind of hat they had on. So if a tiger had a fedora on, it was a guy, and if they had like a flower sticking out of their head, it was a girl.
That's very like Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
Fisher,
Oh, totally. Like
Yeah.
Minnie Mouse. Yeah.
Minnie
or-
Mouse, Disney. Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
early cartoons.
Oh, totally.
Your influence was showing that early.
Oh yeah, and like you could tell what it was. Like it wasn't like crappy. It was pretty good.
Cool. When did you realize you wanted to do it for a living?
Oh, okay, that came like a million years later.
Oh wow! So we're skipping a lot of time. Okay,
Yeah, no.
before we get there, in the middle, like between that time, what were some of the favorite things that you watched and influenced you?
Oh yeah, so I mean, I'm a Nicktoons kid. So like I definitely like my favorite things to watch were like Ren Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life and Hey Arnold.
Nice.
But I also liked watching those dumb Disney ones that were on like because you know what it was, we kept going, we'd like have money one year and then we'd be poor one year, so we'd go from having cable one year
Yeah.
to the next year where we just have like 2 through 13.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then I would
Yeah,
watch
odd year,
like
yeah.
they used to play Disney
CBS.
cartoons really early in the morning on like channel 13 UPN in LA. So I would watch Recess and Tarzan.
Pepper Ann?
I know I wouldn't watch that.
You like Pepper Ann?
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I would watch. They had a shitty version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh yeah, the
Yes, I remember
animated
that cartoon.
version. Sure, I remember that.
But my favorite all-time show, and this is how when I first talked to Brian, I like lost my shit. I don't think he even remembers this, but I internally lost my shit. I was obsessed with, for some reason, Clifford the Big Red Dog, which Brian worked on.
No, I worked at the studio.
Oh, okay. Well, you were there. You were close.
The cartoon version of Clifford the Big Red Dog?
For some reason, I think that's the best
I know a lot of
cartoon
people
ever
Wow,
made.
Yeah. Wait, what? How old were you when you were watching that? Because didn't
I don't
didn't
know.
that come out much later?
I mean, I'm just so young.
Yeah.
It could have been any
It
point in
could have been any
time.
point in time.
I don't know.
Wait, so
So had a long lifespan though.
yeah,
It
oh,
did.
it did.
I
Yeah,
mean,
kinda like
they
yours.
still air it.
It's still on. It's wow. So
Well, so you know what it is like.
You have a wide variety.
Is versus like so Ren Stimpy, I'd say had a big influence on me, but like Clifford the Big Red Dog had a big aesthetic influence on me. Like, I liked the colors and the vibe and the music, which is Mark Mothersbaugh.
Oh yeah.
You
Just like
know.
Rugrats.
I love, Devo.
So it goes back to Devo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Cartoons, Devo, same
So he
thing.
did the music to Clifford.
Yeah,
I
he
knew
wrote
he
the song. He's like, Clifford needed Emily.
I knew he did Rugrats, and I know he did the new Thor movie, but I didn't know he did Clifford.
That's right. And the Lego
Legos.
movie.
And the Lego
Legos.
movie.
Yeah. I remember I had a meeting with him to make a music video potentially for Devo, and it was while he was doing the first Lego movie. And he's like, sorry, I haven't slept in 2 days. And I'm like, you're 50-something years old. I can't do that.
Mark
He's
Mothersbaugh,
insane.
Crazy guy.
And he was like, hey, I got to pay the mortgage. I'm on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
Sounds like an interesting character.
Oh, yeah.
So okay, so let's.
That was a
let's-
tangent.
Yeah. Oh, I love tangents. They're my favorite.
fair.
Except in
mathematical
drawings.
concept. Yeah,
Tangents and drawings drive me nuts.
Yeah, avoid
Stop
them
it.
if possible.
Yeah, God.
Ooh,
Just don't do
This is
it.
also a drawing lesson for you guys right
Just
now.
don't do it.
Tangents and conversations, good. Tangents and drawings, bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So all that stuff influenced you while you were growing up, and now let's get back to when did you realize you wanted to do it as a career?
Oh, God.
When did you say?
Okay, it's
"I wanna do that"?
complicated.
Okay.
I went back and forth. Okay, so this is the other thing. My other greatest love in life is music.
Cool.
And my dream was to be a rock star. That was like my main dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we lived in the years of like VH1 and MTV and
Yeah.
having music videos, multi-million-dollar
Sure.
music videos, and that was like the coolest thing in the world, and I wanted to do that so bad. That's all I wanted
Mm-hmm.
besides drawing. But I wanted to combine them. So like it was an entangled web of like going back and forth in my mind. Like for some reason as a kid I didn't understand what making cartoons, so I didn't think it was like an actual job.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah,
I didn't understand the logistics of it.
Sure.
So I thought rock stardom was a real good
yeah.
job. Real good job.
Yeah.
Much better choice. Yeah.
But like so then I think the first time I watched something that made me think like I really want to do that was John Cristofalusi's music video for Bjork, which basically it tied the two loves
Yeah, for
together.
sure.
And I had never seen anything so well designed or that interesting
Yeah.
or like a girl character look that cool.
For sure.
I think that was like the first time in animation I had seen like a girl that I was like, this is what I want to be in real life, but also what I want to draw.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. It's a very niche thing.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it out there, check it out.
I
It's a
miss
great
you.
video.
Bjork, I miss you. That's what it's called.
It's awesome. So that was.
Or Bjork is how
So
you
how old were
pronounce
you when
it.
you? Oh, I don't want to ask ages.
Nope.
It's not too ages here. Okay. But
I watched it on the internet, in the internet age.
Yeah, in the
You know,
internet
with
age.
all us internet kids.
On the YouTubes and the
Yep.
Zimmos.
on
Yep.
the YouTubes. What's the YouTubes? Never heard of it. Okay, cool. So you saw this Bjork music video by John Kay. You were enamored by it because it tied your two loves together.
Yeah, because like
Right.
I remembered Ren and Stimpy, and I always loved Ren and Stimpy, but like it wasn't till I saw like that Bjork design that like something in my brain clicked where I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything. I still haven't seen anything better than that. Maybe Betty Boop is pretty good,
Betty Boop's pretty good.
but I don't know. Like I don't know, something in that spoke to me. And you know what it was? It was Bjork's really weird. That's actually what got me into Bjork was that music video. I think it was like on TRL or something.
Probably.
was, yeah.
But like it was the fact that like the ending of it, which I think they edited from television, like she's topless and her nipples are alive and Jim and the Idiot Boy's dancing inside them, and at the very end she picks up a chicken from its legs and rips it apart by its crotch and turns into like this, like she's just like screaming, and I'm like, that has influenced me more than anything, because I'm like I would say that like I like drawing weird shit, and I don't know, that exact scene is me.
There are a lot of dismembered limbs in your artwork.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
You know what it is? I like strong emotions. I had a visceral reaction to that. And I've had other visceral reactions to other cartoons, but like that's definitely that was a turning point as a child, and I would draw that frame for frame.
Wow.
And I actually own a bunch of those cells that I drew.
That's so
frame.
cool.
Because I worked for John Kay later, and he like opened up a box and he's like, "Oh, I haven't opened up this in years," and I was like, "Oh my god, I drew this!" And I showed him. I was like, and he's like, "You can have it." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Wow. So the chicken being ripped in half is burned into your memory and your heart forever.
Oh yeah, big time.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So when was so that was your turning point of this is what I want to do this. Did you ever well, just go back to music for a second.
Oh yeah, so then like I saw that, but then like I got more into having a band because like I started playing guitar when I was 9, and I wanted to grow up to be Bob Dylan, So I would do nothing but Bob Dylan covers, and that was like, oh, I'll be Bob Dylan one day.
Sure.
And then I got a band in high school, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll have like a punk band. It'll be super cool. But at the time, they wanted to do metal, so then I ended up doing metal music, but I wasn't very good at that. But I just really wanted to be in a band.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway. But yeah, no, and then I got a job the day I graduated high school. I got a job with my history teacher who started a cell phone video game company.
Oh, cool.
Which at that point wasn't that like...
It's pretty new.
It was kind of new, yeah. And I actually was the art director on that right out of high school. And I got to quit my job at this rib joint. I was super happy because I think they were about to fire me anyway.
Yeah.
Or maybe they did fire me.
Tie you down. That's
yeah, no. But so then I ended up. So then so my first job ever in sort of an art industry was this video game thing, and like I think a year after that my guitar got stolen.
Oh no.
So that kind of...
So that projected you more into the animation world.
Basically.
Like, I have no instrument. I have to draw now.
Out of pure circumstance.
And then and then like, I was working in this video game thing, and then everyone I was working with was telling me how horrible it is in the video game industry. And I was like, this is terrible. And then I was kind of drawing cartoony anyway, and so then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just focus more on cartoons.
Yeah. So wait, what out of curiosity... This video game that you were making, what did it look like? What was the aesthetic?
Bad.
It was bad.
Very bad.
Can people look it up now?
Nope.
Oh, don't look it up.
Nope.
Like we're talking about like the really early days of like cell phone video games.
You know, like a couple years ago.
Was it Snake? Was it just when the one?
No, it was like 3D and stuff, but like the phones weren't that good back then. Mm-hmm. And also, I wasn't that good of an artist.
Okay.
You know?
It was a growing experience for everybody.
Yeah.
But at least right out of high school, you got some kind of art thingy.
Oh, no, it was great. I was like 18 working with all these like 30 and 40-year-old guys that like started this company, and they all knew each other from back east. Like, they were all like, I think they built robots for surgery.
Whoa.
That's what they all did.
Yeah, I've heard of industries like that.
Yeah, they were all from, I think, Cornell and stuff. Like, they were really smart people, and I was just like this young like kid and I knew the history teacher. Okay.
And you were their boss. Let's just say.
Yeah,
let's just say that you were.
I mean, like, it was all worth it. Like, one of my closest friends I met there, he was writing, and he teaches like game design in Sweden, and I've stayed in touch with him, so it was totally worth it.
That's pretty cool. So you decided to draw more, age 18, 19 now.
Yeah.
When did you get, or how did you get your first industry gig? Or wait, did you go to college for animation?
So well. All right. So I went to the same school as this guy, Otis College of Art plus Design, which is they split off from
Otis Parsons.
Otis Parsons, which Parsons knows
ago.
people. They know that from fashion. They used to be in downtown LA, but then like literally the reason I went to it was slightly cheaper than CalArts, and it was right near where my parents lived, so I just stayed at home.
Oh, nice.
It was 5 minutes away, 5-minute drive.
Cool.
It's on the other side of LAX.
Yep.
Perfect. I lived in Manhattan Beach at the time. El Porto. Surfers.
Serendipity. Did you end up... You went for animation, right?
Well,
no?
okay. They don't have animation.
Okay.
So Brian and I were the same. Well, he's much older than me. He's like 15 years older than me.
This is true.
20. So he wasn't there while I was there, but we both took the same major. It was digital media. Harry Mott.
Yes.
Cool. And was there a lot of animation opportunities within?
No. Well, unless you're a 3D animator.
Okay.
You know what's weird? There's been a lot of 2D people now, so I would say more so now. But like at the time, I was the only one.
Yeah, you basically have to make it.
Yeah, he was the standard, the gold standard, because he'd actually had animated, and he was there like years before. So that was the only thing I had like reference to.
They still show that video.
They do, yeah. It's like his Samurai Jack cartoon.
So wait, they at Otis they still show Brian's film to animation.
Yeah, my senior thesis film.
I don't think they show mine because I don't think I completed mine.
No, you didn't. But I remember, like, I actually went to her senior show because I remember when you were there, and like. She basically took a wall of a classroom and just filled it up with all these drawings. I've never seen anyone draw so much.
Oh, and I also I had no time because I planned everything poorly, and I was still burning DVDs, and so I forced Tuna Bora, who's like an artist in animation now, or she sometimes does that. She was really nice, and I was like, "Please help me," and she pinned up that whole wall. Yeah, I didn't even.
Awesome. Yeah, because I mean, I saw your stuff. I'm like,
so bad.
I'm like, she
I'm a terrible
draws.
person.
She draws a lot like John Kay. Like even at that time,
so
I
at that
could
point,
see the influence.
Yeah, so
very strongly and very well.
And the influence was pretty heavy on at that point because at that point I had already been working for John for 3 years.
Oh, you were working for John while you were in college?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what happened. Like my freshman year of college, at like I don't know how the other schools are, but at Otis, the first year you don't have a major. You kind of do a generalization of everything.
Okay.
So you it's kind of smart because then you're kind of like for people that don't know what they want to do, it gives you time to figure out what you want to do. Mm-hmm. For people that you do know what you do, it's a waste of time. I don't know. Yeah. But
because like I figured out within that, it's like I can't work with my hands. Form in space, I failed.
Oh yeah, no. I did. I think my project was I made a flying sperm machine.
It wasn't even that elaborate.
And it wasn't even 3D. I cut out foam and it was 2D.
I barely got through the cardboard cutout box.
Oh
barely
man, I have a picture of me. Like I used to hang out at LMU, that was nearby Loyola Marymount, and I was hanging out. Yeah, I was hanging out at KXLU because all my friends were DJs there, and there's a picture of me asleep in one of the radio booths with glue in my hand and like a block. Like you build the little block wood block, and literally I'm just like asleep, like gluing. So I worked on that video game company my whole first year of college, so I never slept.
Okay.
I had a full-time job.
And then the next 3 years of college, you worked for John K.
Yeah, so my sophomore year, I was really getting into the blog scene. Uh-huh. This is, like a couple of years ago.
Last year.
I can't tell time. Yeah, no. And he had
a big blog.
Yeah, he had a big blog, and he was approachable. He answered people. Yeah. So I was like, hey, would you want to do a talk at Otis? Because at that point I wasn't doing the video game company anymore because they fell under. So then I got a job in the office being Harry Mott's assistant, which was great because basically it involved me just categorizing his giant film collection of Chinese film.
Yeah, Harry Mott was the chair of digital media.
Yeah, and he gave me basically a pity job because I really needed a job. So basically I would go downstairs to the third floor, check out 10 DVDs of silent films and whatever artsy films that you watch in college, and I would watch them all day in the office.
That was your job?
Yeah, that was my job, and I'd do my homework, and sometimes I would do like a job task in the office I was supposed to do.
Nice.
But he encouraged me to watch. Like he was a big silent film guy, and this is all jumping around. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's quite all right.
I grew up in El Segundo. There's a silent movie theater there, the Old Town Music Hall. So I always grew up watching silent comedy, which also I guess basically is also like cartoons. It's the same comedy.
I mean,
like cartoons are based off of those.
Based on,
it also stretches from vaudeville.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like the world's biggest Buster Keaton fan. It's some people might know if they know me online. I go to his grave every year, like a weirdo.
Oh, cute.
He's in.
What do you do at his
grave? He's in Burbank. Yeah, Forest Lawn. Yeah. I just take a picture and look sad in remembrance of him and how much I love him.
He's great.
I feel like had he been alive while I was alive, we would have been married. Or that's my dream.
Well, yeah. I mean, time travel is still possible in the future.
That's true.
It could happen.
That'd be great. Although he's much shorter than me. But I could give him little shoes to prop him up.
Or is that Charlie Chaplin?
No.
Somebody married their cousin.
Oh.
A lot of people marry their cousins.
Yeah.
Definitely not Buster. Buster's no. He did have a bout with alcoholism though. Anyway, blah blah blah. What am I doing? Anyway, so so I had a quick moment before. Okay, so right before I asked John to come talk at the school, there was actually a quick moment. I was thinking about getting into documentary film, and I took a few extra jobs where I would be a cameraman and edit, and I even shot something at the Hyperion plant in El Segundo, and I remember at the time I got in trouble. I got yelled at because you can't shoot the front of that building directly because of terrorism, because it's on the top list of places to be bombed.
Oh dang, I had no idea.
And I was like, oh, this is terrifying. But then so anyway, so then you know what it was? How I found his blog too was weird because there was that comic. Oh God, what's it called? I can't remember now. I don't know why I brought that up.
John's comic?
No, there was this comic that Will Wheaton's a big fan of it. His icon's still him being a character. No.
Oh God.
His headshot on Tumblr is from that comic that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's also on his Twitter as well.
Anyways, this comic where this guy was really into music. I was really into music bands, so someone linked me to this comic because they're like, oh, they mentioned Deerhoof, and they knew I loved Deerhoof. So then I read the comic, and then in the comic they said I tried something different today because I've been really into John K's blog, and I was like, John K, for instance, he has a blog, and then I got all excited, and and I didn't know. So that's how I found it. But anyway, then I saw that he answered people, and I messaged him saying, hey, would you want to come talk at Otis? And then I think he did like a live show at the Arrow in Santa Monica, and so I went and met him and got a poster signed. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it would be great, like if you came and to talk or something, even though I'm the only one who's doing animation, digital media.
So then basically a talk for you.
Yeah, but so it ended up not happening. But at the time, he was doing a music video for Jack Black, and then I
know that video.
So then I ended up my first job for him was scanning drawings.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know how it came up.
Did you approach him to get a job? Did he just?
I think he asked me, "Do you guys have big scanners at your college?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he didn't have a big scanner, and he's drawing too big, so I was scanning his giant drawings at Otis.
Oh wow!
So
that's how you got your in.
Yeah. It's because we got those big ass scanners. Big scanners are expensive.
They're pricey.
It goes from like being $100 to being like $5,000. It's really weird.
But really useful for animation.
Yeah. So then that was my first job.
Did you just scan his drawings for all those 3 years, or was there other things
No,
you did for him? Were you just his drawing?
That'd be a terrible job. What a terrible job for 3 years.
That's
hey, man,
hell.
John K has a reputation to give people terrible jobs.
No. So then I worked my way up to like being a cleanup artist, and then I even got to like do some layouts eventually. So I was doing traditional stuff with him.
Okay, cool.
So I worked on the infamous, now infamous Cans Without Labels.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Which I remember he emailed me. He emailed me way back, and he showed me my credit, and he only credited me as color card artist because all the backgrounds I had painted for another project they used, but he reused it for that. And in my mind, I was gonna say like, wait, I did layout on that, and I was like, I don't care, whatever.
Did Cans Without Labels ever come out?
I think it's done, but I don't think it's come out. I have no idea.
It's been 6 years, right?
I don't even know. See, this is the thing. I worked on it in 2007.
Okay.
So the whole story with that, I don't know is this out or anything, or maybe he did explain. It was originally for Pontiac Vibe, the car. What? And then GM went under, and so then they pulled the funding. So he was actually going to be making an online cartoon for the George Liquor program, and he had a whole staff of artists, like Jim Smith was boarding and stuff, and Cans Without Labels was the one that was the furthest along.
Oh, is that what it was?
And then literally GM, I think it was in 2009, GM went under, or they announced like when the recession happened, and so they canceled all the funding for that and pulled it, because they pulled that car no longer, but the whole show was based around the car. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
I don't think anyone knows. Maybe he didn't even. Maybe that's not public knowledge. I don't know.
Anyway, I mean, but like all this stuff kind of like happens along the scenes.
Yeah.
Funding is huge.
So that's what's so weird. That shows like, so he technically started that 10 years ago.
Wow.
That's even weirder.
No clue. So, okay, you worked with John K for 3 years. Did you work with him after college too, or once you finished college, that was it? You did your own thing.
Yeah, no. So then I started. What did I do after that? Oh, so he introduced me to Brendan Birch and Matt Danner.
Okay, Matt Danner is the guy. We're in Danner's
in his house
right now. Matt Danner,
yeah.
And Brendan Birch, So
Matt Danner and Brendan Birch started. They started a 6-point harness together.
6-point harness. That's what it is. Okay.
So then that was my first studio job. Okay. Was that 6-point harness?
Okay. So wait. So John K introduced you to those guys.
Yeah.
And then those guys ended up helping you get into that 6-point.
No. So yeah. So like, he introduced me to Danner and Brendan Birch. Brendan Birch is the one who runs 6-point harness. Danner and him started it, but Danner pulled out or did other stuff. But so I worked on the Drawn Together movie. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I didn't know Drawn Together was done at 6-point.
Yeah, no, and I already knew him, but guess who my desk mate was?
Who was it?
Eric Bauza.
Oh, it was Bauza.
No when he used to still draw, because he's like a really good artist.
Our second guess.
Oh yeah,
he was up. I think he was like one of our. Yeah, he was like second.
He's the best. Yeah, no, it was great too, because I had been working in Flash to that point, but not to the level that they were, because again, I went to not animation school. I went to digital media.
Yeah, well, Dana worked with John K. And they helped develop the Flash department with like Eric Pringle.
Yeah. So I knew Pringle because we worked on a commercial with John K. together. But but literally, I'm so glad I was sat next to Bowser because A, I already knew him, but B, that one day he taught me how to use Flash the proper way.
Oh, nice.
And then I was like, then I was good to go.
One day tutorial.
The Pringle way.
The Pringle.
Yeah, no, thankfully for Bowser.
That's awesome.
Love you, Bowser.
So you were working on the drum.
Wait, why did I just flipped off the camera when I said thank you?
Thank you, Bowser.
Love you, Bowser.
Take that, Bowser.
That I was trying to do like Inglewood. I don't know why.
We just learned that Kali
just
hates
like,
Eric Bauza.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning
I
today.
love Eric
Kali
Bauza.
hates Bauza. We're learning so much.
This is the opposite. I've known him for so long.
Oh yeah, you guys are best.
He's
buds.
got a baby now.
He's a cool guy. He does, and he posts on his Instagram all the time. His
It's
baby is so cute.
Freaking nuts.
Oh, the Halloween
Adorable.
costumes were the best.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know.
Adorable.
I can't handle it.
Yeah,
I
so
can't handle it.
Okay. So let's see. We got Bowser tracked.
Oh yeah. So okay, I was wearing a 6-point harness.
Okay.
And
For 6 Point. What were you working on at 6 Point? The
So-
Drawn Together movie?
Johnny, and then I was basically I got to, so I was animating or doing like layouts on that, but then I switched to they gave me a bunch of character designs. So that was my first like
Ooh.
bout into doing actual
On
character
Drawn Together
designs.
movie, you did character design.
No, not on that, like other projects they had. So
Okay.
like I worked on a million things that
What else did
don't
they have at
see
6
the-
Point going on?
Well, the one thing I think that actually did get made that I did character designs on was there was this weird show with Brad, the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond. Brad,
Brad.
he's like a cartoon
Brad
voice guy.
Garrett.
Brad Garrett.
Garrett.
He had a show that didn't last very long on Fox. It was a married thing till no a sitcom
Till Death.
till death.
Yeah, I remember
And we
that.
did an animated segment on that, and I did all the designs for it because basically everyone had a dream and everyone dreamt in a different style. So I had to design the cast in Looney Tunes style. I designed the cast in Edward Gorey style,
Oh wow.
and then
that's pretty cool.
another style. I don't remember,
that
but
up.
that actually did make it to
That
air.
sounds so fun. I never watched that show, so I would never.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
It only had
Why
like
would
maybe
you?
a season, maybe
Season,
2
half a
seasons.
I don't know. I remember that
crazy.
they get. I think like one of the actresses changed mid working on this cartoon.
Did they address it?
You know, I had to redesign it again.
Oh,
it was
that
weird.
sucks.
I have a question before we go
yeah.
any further about all this stuff leading up to this point. Was there a lot of times with other guests we've had and with other people that I hear stories, there's time where they're doubting the choices they made of going into animation. Was there any point where you're like, why did I choose to go into animation? Or this whole time were you just gung-ho and crazy about it?
No, I loved it, but my biggest regret, even though I've met some of my favorite people in college, this is my opinion about college now. If you don't know what you want to do, go to college.
Yes.
If you do know what you want to do, it's called the internet and work. Don't need to go to college.
No.
And you're welcome because you'll save so much money.
So you never
I'm
doubted
so
going
poor.
into animation, but you doubted your choices going to college. You wish you didn't.
Yeah,
go.
because okay, so definitely, I mean, it's a weird thing that they do to you in high school. They make you feel like you're going to end up at McDonald's unless you go to college. And so I was told like, oh, you have to go to college. You have to go to college, even though I knew I wanted to be an artist and I was going to go to art school or whatever.
And we had the luxury of being in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like,
Why should it?
so I'm not gonna go in whatever circumstances. I ended up having to figure it all on my own, and I didn't get any government loans. I did all private loans. Still paying them off.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I ended up well over $100,000 getting, so it's like a horrible way to start your life.
Oof, that's not fun.
No, it's terrible. And I've met other people like that, and people will email me saying how to go about. I'm like, the internet.
Yeah.
The only thing that's ever really helped me with getting work was the internet.
Oh yeah.
Like I've gotten all my jobs just from the internet or knowing people that I met through the internet.
Wow.
Like not from school.
So
No one's ever even looked at my resume until after they hire me.
Do you think that the 4 years of
True.
college at all had any benefit at all for you? Or?
I met some of my friends there.
How about in growing in your skills as an artist? Or did they hone your skills or focus you or kind of show your voice a little bit?
It was
or?
cool to. I mean, obviously, it's cool to have the discipline of being forced to do draw a life drawing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like I could have still done that on my own
for cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just go to community college,
Or trade schools.
trade school.
Yeah.
Literally.
Especially if you're like in LA or probably even New York, you can go to a class and say, I want to do this one thing and take that class.
Exactly.
As opposed
You
to going
don't need to
a
go
four-year
to.
institution. And I fully agree. If you don't know what you want to do and you can afford it, go to college.
Oh yeah. Also, yeah. If you can afford it, do whatever the fuck you want. Go to
Exactly,
college
yeah.
for 10 years. Who cares?
Yeah.
I definitely in the camp where I would have definitely benefited in my life not going.
At least until we can get tuition-free colleges.
Yeah, no, I mean, school shouldn't cost anything, but what can you?
Yeah, that's a longer conversation and a process.
Oh, for sure. It's a whole nother podcast.
Take
God.
like a figure drawing class. Go to the animation guild. It's like $200.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
go
the Animation
anywhere.
Guild, you
Go
can
to
go
Los
to.
Feliz. They have a great life drawing class. I think it's like $40.
So life drawing was one thing that you did in college that was helpful, but we're finding out that we can do it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
But again, like the internet, you can reach out. There's more resources now.
Yeah, you can
especially
just
compared to when I went to
you can
college.
life draw on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
so you before you were saying every job you got was through the internet. How did you go about getting these jobs via the internet? What was your process?
Well,
was it just like typing and talking to people?
when I mean
or-
like the initial job was through the internet,
Yeah.
like meeting John. But then I have also had other job offers, like if someone hit me up on Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like usually it's definitely just meeting people on the job. So you start a job, you meet people, and then they remember you and they refer you, because they're always more inclined to refer people that they've worked with or they've met, or someone that they worked with will recommend.
Yeah.
It's harder to just cold call into a job. Like I've applied to jobs before, but I would say I think I've only ever gotten one job that way, and maybe not even that way. It's always been someone referring me or asking me, or
Yeah,
you know.
every job I've gotten has been through a
Yeah.
reference or contact.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the internet's important because then you gotta. It's always that the hardest thing is getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
But once you get your foot in the door, then you just make your presence known.
So you made
Like a
connections-
cat, you just piss all over the place.
Everywhere. Mark your territory.
Remember your smell forever.
Yeah. So you make connections via the internet, and then you kind of show what you got. I'm sure people
And be present on the internet,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
then like
show your work, right?
yeah, like sometimes people will be looking for a specific thing and they go to the internet. Like I mean I won't jump ahead, but I can explain as we go along how I got every specific job.
Yeah. Sure. Why not?
I mean, if that's that might be helpful.
Or you can surmise.
Yeah. What's
Let's do it
after
in real
6
time.
point?
Let's
Okay,
let's
so
reenact
6-point
the entire
harness.
thing.
Yeah, no, like okay, so Matt Danner, he pulled me into Disney.
Okay.
So I had met Danner through John Kay, but he also I think he was talking to Brendan Birch, like who would you recommend? And he's like, oh, do you remember Kali? He's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, then her. And that's when I first worked with. No, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah,
Wait,
you're
no,
jumping
I said no. Looney
little
Tunes.
bit.
Looney Tunes.
Looney
Okay,
Tunes.
so Warner Brothers first, not
The
Disney.
Looney Tunes show.
Yeah, so I worked and I sat next to Brian, and he remembered me from my senior show, and so we sat next to each other, and so that was like
Interesting.
that.
So-
That was the first production
so
I did
he
with Danner.
accidentally went to see your senior show. He didn't go for you. He
No.
didn't know you.
No, because he went to that school.
He was there because he went
Yeah.
to school.
Yeah.
He remembered you
Yeah.
on the Looney Tunes
Because
show.
I remember, I was like, oh, she's a kick-ass artist.
You had an impressive senior show. So that was
Thank
the benefit
you.
of college right there. Maybe I'm
But
not trying
but
to find one.
I didn't get her. I
I'm
didn't
just-
get her that gig.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
okay.
yeah,
got
yeah.
it.
So Danner did. He was
Okay.
running the show.
Boom. All right.
I probably helped with future gigs, but
Yeah.
I didn't help with that one.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
and I can explain how. Okay, I can explain. I get it. We'll get to it. I was about to say I set Brian's career path in a certain direction.
You did too. That's very true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's entirely.
Oh, I can't wait.
Isn't
to
that
get
fun?
that
I think
one.
I've mentioned that.
Oh,
on the
really?
show, too. Yeah, but
I gotta
yeah,
go back
so-
and listen to all these.
So Looney Tunes show, I was boarding and you were a revisionist.
And we were sitting with all the old guys, and
Yeah,
they were just complaining, like, "What's this
Were
Photoshop?"
were you there when Jim Smith was still there?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
there for I think 2 weeks, and then he was like,
He was there for a little
Oh,
longer.
so you
I mean, okay, so when
Well,
I
you were
came,
there, okay,
yeah.
so you were a board revisionist.
Yes,
Oh, cool. Okay.
so that's a great way to get in at a low level.
Of course. Cool. So
Although
that-
before I had experience animating and doing layout and cleanup and
where was the Looney Tunes show done? That was a Cartoon Network.
that was Warner Brothers, but I guess it was on Cartoon Network. So it was done on the Warner Brothers lot that for film nerds was originally the Columbia lot where all the Three Stooges stuff was and everything.
It's called the Ranch.
And more, the ranch, and it's on Hollywood Way. Also, the Friends fountain is there.
Do. So was that your job right after 6 Point? Was Warner Brothers, or was there anything
Yes.
between? Okay.
I
cool.
think off and on I always did occasional things for John Kay
Yeah.
still at that point, but
You still talk to John?
he'll email me once every couple of years.
Didn't he move to Florida or no?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but we abruptly got an end on Looney Tunes show when we all got laid off.
Oh yeah, so we got laid off on my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
That was your birthday.
Yeah, I had to clean out my desk on my birthday.
What a
Right, it was
present.
November.
Why'd you get laid off?
No,
on
it was
your
a
birthday?
I mean, the whole crew got laid off on my
Why?
birthday.
What happened? Why?
It's just they laid off. Well, I can go into it
Yeah,
really
you
quickly.
can go into it.
So basically, they were like, "Oh, the show's not funny," even though we we drew everything the writers wrote.
The show's not
Oh,
funny.
you know who was a writer on it too? Have you ever seen Eastbound and Down?
Yeah, I
Oh my
love Eastbound and
God.
Down.
That show's great.
Who, Danny McBride?
No, his
Steve Little?
Steve Little was a writer.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I didn't realize it till years later. I was like, oh my god, we worked with him.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
He's also Cinnamon Bun, right?
Yeah. I mean, so he worked on Thurup's show. Like he was a writer on Flapjack and stuff.
That makes
Flapjack.
sense. Yeah, it was clear that a lot of those writers didn't want to really do animation.
No. I mean, that's the sad thing about. I mean, not sad. I mean, I guess some people do, but like a lot of them, they just take whatever job they can get, and I understand that now.
Yeah, sure, I get it.
It's
Which is
whatever work
like
there
recently what we went through. I was kind of like, I haven't been this sad since 2009 in Looney Tunes show.
That's another.
Yeah, no, it was a bummer, man. That was a bummer.
That's a bummer, man. Yeah,
Birthday.
for sure. Okay, so after you got laid off on your birthday, that must have been a downer for you.
Yeah, no.
What happened next? What was the next thing in your life after? What'd you roll onto, or was there a period?
So
of
I think
time
I did.
where
I
you
think I
bummed
did a
out?
little bit of freelance for maybe 6 Point Hunters or something. But then I think it was Disney.
Okay.
Oh no! I worked at Bento Box.
Okay. Cool.
Bento
you know what
boxes.
else? Oh, so John K introduced me to Joel Kuwahara,
Okay.
he's one of the founding guys of Bento Box. He was you'll see his name all the time in the '90s Simpsons cartoons.
Okay. And there was Joel Kuwahara. Okay, gotcha. Cool.
And that was like right when I think they were like on the walls. They were developing Bob's Burgers. Yeah. So I was working on this pilot for some comedian. That was like a lot of the development I did up until that point, like at 6 Point Harness, and then at Bento Box was like a comedian wanting to have a cartoon show.
What was the comedian? Who's the comedian? You remember?
I don't know. It was terrible.
It wasn't really.
I just remember. I mean, I won't get into it. There was like, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so you did some stuff for Bento, and then
Disney. Then I got pulled in Disney.
Disney.
Yeah.
What show was it on Disney?
What was it called?
Uncooked Land. It
Yeah.
was a pilot that
It's
never
development.
got made.
This is more development.
But Matt Danner put us on along
Okay.
with
And we worked
Stuart
with,
Livingston and Ben
Gruber,
Ben Gruber,
who co-created Super Jail.
Yep.
He's like the nicest guy.
whoever
It was Uncooked Land.
Uncooked Land.
I mean, he had a few different names, but that was definitely one of the names.
That's the one that kind of stuck. It
Yeah.
had some funny ideas.
Did the pilot get finished? Is it out somewhere?
No.
We did an animatic. That's
Oh,
about
I don't
it.
think it ever was released.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was me, Brian, and Stu Livingston, who's like the co-director of Hey Arnold movie that's about to come out, the Jungle movie.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. You guys all boarded on it?
Yes.
Yes, it was fun.
Nice.
Good times.
Like for a summer, so.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think it was in Flash, so we were coloring every frame too. It was really.
So,
Funny.
before we get too far off of the subject, is there any advice that you have for someone who's in the position of just kind of spontaneously getting laid off like that? Is there, because that might happen to some friends of ours, or maybe us here. In the
Yeah,
room as
no,
well,
it's
for a recent
always
show
a
that we've been
terrible
on.
thing, man.
So, like, what advice do any of us have for people?
Well, this
that
is
are
my
up and
general
doing?
advice. Don't just rely on animation jobs. If you can draw, try to see what else is out there, like children's books, illustration, comics.
Cool.
Like, because sometimes there can be little dry spells,
Mhm.
and those dry spells can be harsh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely excellent advice. Yeah,
And I'm
because
sure they kill morale too. Dry spells. You're probably like,
Oh, they
why
suck.
did I choose this
Oh,
path?
yeah. You think that you're like, what am I? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with you. There's just a dry spell.
because I've mentioned on the show before versatility. Like even
Yeah.
though like I can board, but I can also do animation. I can character design a little bit,
Right.
so it keeps me able to bounce
So
around
you're
in
probably.
different jobs.
I would say you're more. I want to be more versatile.
Versatility helps, but like
Yeah.
versatility also extends to beyond just this.
But also, don't do what you don't like. I realized early on, boarding makes me depressed.
Oh.
So, and that's like the main job in animation. So,
Oh, yeah, I don't.
You
And
know.
I don't do backgrounds.
right, I mean,
why does boarding make you depressed?
it makes me unhappy.
Yeah,
Any reason? It's just
But-
does
I
not-
don't
it's
know.
not
but
a
like
thing.
you said, don't do what you don't like because you
Yeah.
probably won't be good at it.
Yeah, exactly, because you
Yeah.
won't care about it.
There's just not gonna be passion behind it.
I'm good at board
Like-
revising because I'm really good at cleanup, and I'm
Okay.
good at I'm really good at acting, like drawing acting. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like.
sure.
So sometimes I would take jobs where I was basically doing special poses and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but like boarding just always made me miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't know.
The initial boarding stage makes you miserable. Like punching up, acting, and cleaning up, you're cool with.
I like fixing boards, but like board revision's not necessarily a job you want to keep doing. That's
Yeah.
an entry level job.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely. I'll get to it later. I'll tell you how I ended up in a position doing a job that I didn't want to do.
Oh yeah, let's hear about that soon. Okay, but we were on Disney. Okay, so Disney.
Oh, so then we were just hopped on and we're doing a bunch of random development. At least I was. I know you might have. Oh, you left.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
I went to go work on problem solving.
That's what it was. So I stayed there, and then I was working with all the development people for a while after
Disney?
that. Yeah,
Oh, what were you developing?
a bunch of things that
Stuff
never
that never got made.
nothing that you would know.
Aw.
Oh, I did work with this Flash artist that I actually watched when she had cartoons earlier on when I was younger. She'd created oh my god.
You got it. You got it on the tip of your tongue.
Early Flash
created-
cartoon.
Is
Something
like
like Newgrounds?
Icebox or something or Newgrounds?
Whoa.
Icebox?
It was created by a woman. There's not that many.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
It was like a girl and her beast that like were like
Maggie and
evil.
the Ferocious
It was kind of like dark.
Was it a Flash cartoon?
This
Yes.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, no, you probably know what
does
it is.
sound kinda-
Anyway, so I developed one of her cartoons at Disney. Anyway, what the? I'm terrible memory.
It wasn't
So bad.
I don't know. Never mind. I was thinking of a Nickelodeon show, Making Fiends, but that wasn't it.
That's it.
Was it?
Yep. No, so that was an internet cartoon. I think then they bought it, but I worked
That was
with
on,
her.
Wasn't that on Nick?
Not initially. It was an
Oh.
internet cartoon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Making Fiends.
Yeah,
Sure,
so I worked with her for a while, and Danner was doing it too.
Okay.
And that's how I pulled in Mike Chillian at that point because he needed a job and like he worked on it with me. And that was super fun. He's a super talented artist. You guys should have him.
Yeah, we want it. We want to have.
He's
him
on the list.
He's on.
Is this like a hit list?
Yes.
Am I gonna be murdered on camera?
Yep, this is actually a snuff film.
Anthony tell you how that's how these
Yeah,
things
every
end?
single
Where's
one
the
of them
pillowcase? Do I get a pillowcase to put over my head?
It's slow and painful.
No. But yeah, no. So like, so now I'll explain how the next thing happened.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I'm in development at Disney. They moved us from the main campus, the one in Burbank, to the Glendale one, which is across the street from the Imagineers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were remodeling it because they were like rebuilding and expanding the straight to DVD department, whatever the directive
Directed DVD.
DTS,
Yeah, DTS.
or whatever the DTS department of Disney. So we were like one of the only productions going on there besides like Kick Bukowski was like winding down.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy Paul Rudish, who is like comes from that camp of like Craig McCracken, Gendy Tartakovsky,
He
Craig
did some of the
Kelman.
Mickey Mouse stuff, right?
So he was developing Mickey Mouse shorts
okay.
at that point.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he did. He's the show creator of those
Oh,
showrunner.
he's showrunner of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew I heard his name.
So he was developing it, and he was just like also alone there. So his office was right where we were, and so he would just hang out with us. We'd get lunch all the time, and he was just a really cool guy. And we would talk about like we liked the same music. We knew a lot of the same friends because like Chillian had worked with Craig Kelman on Ricky Gervais.
That's right.
Which I did some freelance for that, but I never was in house. But they had like a really tight camaraderie. So we knew a lot of the same people, and then Mike and I both left to go do the Rick and Morty pilot at Starburns
Yeah, of course.
Industries. And before that, I think Justin Roiland was doing like something in his house, and he had me recommend people because I had met him right at Disney time because he was on Fishhooks, a writer. Right when I met Alex Hirsch too at Disney, and he had me recommend people, and I recommended MC and you, and so that's how Brian first started working with Justin Roiland.
Yeah, that was MC Griffin.
Yeah.
I think that was during the community short that we did.
Yeah, and
'Cause it
that was
with Mike, that was with Mike and
that was
Taylor.
before Starburns was Starburns. It was 2 3D films.
2D films, yeah.
Yeah, and it was next to that McDonald's off the 134. And it's another weird thing. Like MC Griffin, I went to school with him at Otis, but he left early, and then I met him again later because I started hanging out with all the Channel 101 guys.
Okay.
And MC just got finished working with us on the Cops.
He did.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm responsible for Brian being Rick and Morty legend.
Oh.
Right.
I'm gonna take it all.
No.
Give me the credit.
That's absolutely fair.
I'm credit hungry.
So
Because that was a connection.
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew
Gotcha.
you knew Mike do Justin do you, and then
Yeah.
you guys recommended me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Tangled web, wee wee.
Isn't it? See, that's animation. You just gotta make friends
Yeah, tangle
and recommend your friends,
Yep.
and then they'll pay it
recommend
forward.
you.
Yeah, they pay it forward.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Look at that. That's all.
That's why it's the getting in thing that's the hard thing. It's
Yeah.
just that one entrance.
Yeah.
for sure.
And also, it's just like people think it's like a lot of nepotism, but like with us, it's like you have to prove it. Like, if you sucked, I wouldn't recommend you.
Oh yeah,
And
no, then
ideally, if I
then no
sucked,
one will
wouldn't
refer you.
recommend
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's neat. I know that. So, what are you trying to grab? Oh, that.
Oh, I got you.
More beer for
Wait,
Kali.
thank you.
Kali.
Oh wait, what'd you say?
Princess Kali.
Okay, so he came up with that, and I've really grown into it. Because
Princess Kali?
when he first called me that, I like denied it. I was like, I'm not a princess, and that was like years ago. And now I've accepted the fact that yes,
What?
I'm a princess.
Why princess? Little princess.
because
Kali.
I'm spoiled.
Okay, you make people get you beer
Yeah, thank you.
or cider.
Ciders.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I have one. Cheers. Thanks for coming on our show. We're not.
You're
done yet.
welcome.
I just wanted
Goodbye.
To say thank you. No, cheersing. I feel like when we cheers, I have to say thanks for something. Okay.
Thank you for being a friend.
Golden Girl.
It's now turning into a Golden Girls podcast. We're
Is
going to
this-
talk about our favorite episodes.
What podcast are we on?
I don't even know. Ass.
Okay, ass.
Ass.
I love it. Ass.
Okay, so we're finding out about Kali's ass right now. There's so
Nice.
much to talk about. Your ass
I know,
is
it's too much. I know, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, so I became friends with all those Channel 101 guys. That's how I met Mike Chillian, by the way.
Okay, cool.
I started going to Channel 101 because my old roommate, and I became friends with
Abed?
He's lurking around outside.
Is lurking around.
Who's like he's like my best friend now. All my best friends are from Channel 101. I replaced all my old friends with new friends, and they're all Channel 101 guys. So Mike Chillian, Kate Freund, Rob Schraub, Abed Gase, all met from Channel 101,
Nice.
and they're all great.
And did you work on any of the animated shorts on Channel 101?
I did.
Which one?
So the first thing I ever worked on was McBusters 3.
Yay, me too.
But the first thing we ever appeared in is, and I forced you and Stu to do this, Toon Wolf,
yeah.
which was
Toon Wolf.
filmed right outside here.
In Matt Danner's backyard.
Look up Toon Wolf. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Abed's in it.
He created it.
That's
It's
right.
his show.
Oh, that is his show.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
MC, I met MC on
Yeah.
Teen Wolf,
Yeah.
too.
MC animated on it. Yep. Isn't that fucked up?
Small
That's-
connection.
It's all roads. You know what? All roads lead to me.
All road leads to. You're like the Kevin Bacon of the animation industry.
It's true.
It is.
Oh, and then so that was weird. So Bowser lived with Danner and then started to become friends with Abed. But I knew Bowser from years ago because of John Kay, because he did the voice of Stimpy in the newer Ren Stimpy's. Everything leads to me.
Yeah, for sure. That's great, guys. If you're trying to get into the industry, come
Go
and
to
meet
Kali.
her. Meet her. You have
Oh,
I'm sorry.
come
to be your friend.
through.
Come to Kali.
You
Oh my
said come
gosh.
through.
I said go through Kali.
Oh, go through Kali.
Did you?
Yes.
No, I heard come.
I'm sure, but no.
This is not the right time, not right climate
This
to
is
be
the
making
worst.
these jokes.
The worst ever.
I rescind everything that just happened in the last 3 minutes.
But
We gotta just have one phrase as a clip.
Have you guys ever driven down Fountain in Hollywood?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so there's on the side of a liquor store, there's this famous quote by Betty Davis, and it's my favorite quote of all time for all of entertainment.
Let's hear it.
And it's like the same thing. They're like, Betty, how do you get into Hollywood? And she's like, you go down Fountain, you dumbass. And anyway, I like it. But it's written on a wall on Fountain because it's perfect. That's how you get into Hollywood.
Betty
She
Davis
answered
is
the question.
awesome.
Yeah. That's what I want to
Like,
grow up
don't
to
ask me
be,
that shit.
a craggly old woman being like, how do you get animation? You take Hollywood way. To see that doesn't work. I don't know.
There's no like one spot for
Oh,
animation.
you take Barham.
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 That is
Barham.
It's
I
like,
don't know.
Well, where was the
Tonga.
where is the
Tahunga?
Where's the Toontown entrance from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Isn't that near Griffith Park?
I thought so.
Oh, God,
I'm pretty
I don't
sure.
know.
That's how you get in the animation.
There you
go.
go.
You go through that tunnel.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the best.
Into
yeah,
the valley.
What were we talking
I
about?
don't remember. Oh, so you were working on a show.
Okay, so yeah. So then, Chili and I went over to the pilot of Rick and Morty. So like, basically, Rick and Morty. A lot of people might not know this. Mike Chillian animated all of Justin's things, and basically, like,
Yeah.
Justin can draw, but like Mike designed them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the
And drew
original Doc
them.
and Marty, Michael's
Yeah.
on.
And he
Who's
even does a
designing.
voice, like he's one of the characters.
Okay.
On the original Doc and Marty?
Yeah, I mean Mike made that cartoon with Justin.
Yeah.
It's like all. It's mostly. I mean, art wise, it's Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Justin did a lot of cartoons.
Oh, you know, here's a weird story. So I think this is actually in the book they just released, but like,
The Rick and Morty book?
I think there was like a joke. The reason Doc and Marty looks so shitty is because I think, like, as a joke, like, Oh, you know what it was? Justin had drawn rough drawings, and then Mike was going to make them look nicer. But then Justin's like, no, it'd be really funny if you just keep it shitty.
Yeah.
So they on purposely made it shitty. So Mike was going to make it nicer, but then like at the last second, just like I think Mike animated one of his shitty drawings, and he's like, that's even better.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And Mike did go through and make the drawings better. That's how we got Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Mike was the designer on that show, and I was the color key supervisor.
Nice. We gotta get Mike on the show.
And I was doing boards.
Yeah. We were all there. We're all in one room.
You guys did Rick and Morty pilot.
Yeah. So if you look at me, you see a lot of pastels.
I'm joking.
You don't have to go over there. Get off your own podcast. I'll just talk to Brian.
I'm looking, and I'm talking, and I'm podcasting.
Brian loves it when I cuddle up next to him. It's his favorite thing. He makes this wonderful sound.
He looks like he loves it.
I'm sorry, Brian.
That's okay.
Like I definitely am maybe one of the reasons it's really pastel and there's a lot of seafoam, especially in the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
It's all your
That's my like, because a lot of people were really into Rick and Morty, and you know, I mean, I knew it would be popular, but I had no idea at that point.
Ditto. That's
No
what I would
clue.
say, yeah.
huge, yeah.
So it's too popular.
So like, whenever like say I get into an Uber and they're like, "What do you do?" I work in animation, and then I'm like, "What can I say that they'll know?" And I used to always just say Mickey Mouse shorts, but now I say Rick and Morty, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And then they lose their shit, and I'm like, "Hey, look at my outfit. See all the pastels? I made everything pastel in the show." And they're like, "What the fuck?" And then they just
like,
die.
I don't know what that means, but Rick and Morty.
Yeah, their head explodes.
Yeah.
Like Pickle Rick.
Yeah. Oh God, Jesus Christ.
Oh man, I stopped wearing my Pickle Rick shirt because people would shout Pickle Rick at me.
That happened to me. That happened to me a few weeks ago.
I was like, enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
I get it.
Oh man, I have a bunch of Harmon's Rick and Morty shirts because I went to his ex-wife's moving out divorcing party.
Aaron McGee.
She had a stack of like 2XL Rick and Morty shirts, and I exercise in them.
Oh nice.
Yeah.
They belong to Harmon.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Nice. You share clothes with Harmon. Harmon, if you're listening, come get your clothes back.
No, I like them. I like sweating in them.
So after Rick and Morty pilot, what'd you do?
So the reason I left Rick and Morty was then I got a job on Mickey Mouse shorts because Paul remembered always hanging out and talking with me, and he's like, "Oh, you're fun and cool. Do you want to come be a character designer?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I do."
That's awesome. And when were you working with Paul before or just chatting with him?
We were just hanging out.
And
he was just his office was right next to
Did you
where
show off
we were
your
sitting.
portfolio and stuff to him while you were there?
No, I've
Chat?
never shown my portfolio to anybody,
Oh.
except like I guess sometimes online. I don't know. No, it was just. I mean, he saw us working, so he knew what we were.
So he knew what you guys were capable of.
Yeah.
Wow, great.
I
And then
mean-
he asked you to be a character designer on the Mickey shorts?
Yeah, so I think I was one of the first two people brought on into that because I was doing some development even once they were like in pre-production.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like it was Alex Kerwin did the initial like model sheets.
I love Alex. I took his character design
He's super
class.
great. Yeah, no, he's like an amazing artist. No, it was super fun and like it's the only show I've ever worked on where I have 2 Emmys.
What? You
Because
have Emmys?
everyone who worked on the show has an Emmy. They print it out for you. It's got a little gold Emmy that printed on the piece of
it's a
paper.
printed Emmy. Oh, cool.
Technically, you're allowed to buy an Emmy for $500, but no.
I only
big
know
is
one
it?
person with an Emmy. I want an Emmy.
I know. I want a physical one, but I also don't want to spend $1,000 on buying 2 Emmys.
Come on. I think the paper's good.
So usually the studio they pay for like
it's not.
they get like Paul has the
Yeah,
Emmys.
if you're the upper echelon, they'll buy
You
it.
get the
Actually,
Emmys.
yeah.
Interesting.
He actually he won even though he did the initial designs of the show, yes, but he actually one year won the character design Emmy for our show.
Oh, wow. There's a character design Emmy?
It's like
Wow.
a
Daytime
technical-
Emmy.
Daytime.
Okay.
technical
Oh,
Emmy.
yeah.
No, the first show I ever worked on, I went to the Daytime Emmys for. It was for Todd World.
Oh really?
Yeah, we got nominated.
What was the-
So I got to see it all. Richard Cheese was there.
Richard Cheese was there?
I know. I was like,
Oh my God.
it's my best photo ever. I took
That's
a Richard
amazing.
Cheese.
Oh man.
So fun.
I never went.
Aw.
But, you know, someday.
You won, though.
Yeah, no. So they mailed them to us, and one got bent in the mail.
Psh. should mail it back.
Lame.
Say it's bent. You have to now give me a physical copy.
I still haven't framed them. I should really frame them. It's one of those things I just got to get around to.
They're somewhere. You'll find them
But
eventually.
yeah, no.
But now I can call you Emmy award-winning
Yes.
Yeah.
Kali Fontecchio.
Yes.
Experience with like how the Emmys get submitted for the daytime Emmy. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Internet Cartoon Network. They basically print out as nice as they can, like the artist that gets nominated.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if it's a background designer, they grab one of the backgrounds they like, or
Mhm.
character designs, they get some of the turns. They print them out on really nice paper. They mat them. Then they force the intern to go get the signature of that artist. Then they put them in like a really padded cushion, like envelope.
Yeah, yeah.
And they mail it off.
I actually had to submit myself one year, which I didn't end up getting nominated for, but I just for the heck of it.
For character design?
Yeah, but like you have to like mail in a packet of art, but also like a DVD showing a clip of it and all that.
Interesting.
So I didn't win one as like a person. I won one as a part of the crew.
For the Mickey Mouse
So
shorts.
2 times for Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
shorts.
And what did you mail yourself in?
That was also for Mickey Mouse shorts,
Okay.
but it was like I just wanted to. That was the weird thing. They wouldn't do it for specific artists on Mickey Mouse. They would just do the show or Paul.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with the way they. I don't know.
How many different animation categories are there on the daytime Emmys? Because I know obviously
It's like a few
there's a few. There's the character design. Is there
boards, storyboards.
Boards, yeah.
I think story by
Directing,
Yeah.
music, written.
Yeah.
Is writing.
Yeah. Editing.
editing
Editing,
too?
yes.
hmm
Anything for background painters?
Probably.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know there was so many Emmys for animation. I thought there was
Just daytime Emmys.
They never
Or-
film the daytime. Emmys.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the trick. It's just,
creative
it
arts.
happens,
Creative
yeah.
arts
Deceiving.
Emmys.
They're deceiving.
Yeah.
They even put like best animated short, best animated series in the daytime.
Yeah,
Emmys.
it's also mixed in with other stuff for like daytime television. So like
Yeah, like
best
special
camera-
facts.
Yeah, best camera person on the Ellen Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole category.
Yeah,
Best
yeah,
camera person on the Ellen Show.
Yeah.
On the Ellen Show.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So, Kali, let's see where we left off here. So, you were doing the Mickey shorts.
Yes. So
how
I was for a
How
while.
long were you on the Mickey shorts for?
Like a year and a half, or
Wow, that's a lot of time.
yeah. No, I mean they're still going.
You're still going.
How do I? It's weird. It's definitely weird when you realize career paths. Like I could have just stayed on that show.
Yeah. How come you left?
Well, because so my philosophy is even if it's riskier, if you get just I like to do new things.
Sure.
Because like obviously I'd be in a much safer position just staying on a show, which is like unheard of in animation.
A
Completely.
long running.
I mean, like
too.
Simpsons.
Yeah. So, what's your philosophy?
South Park. I got a job offer from Genndy Tartakovsky to work on the Popeye film.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Which,
you were working on
God, man, it was so cool.
That would've been
You guys
great
don't
if
even know.
Dude, that would have been great if that.
Oh, it would have been great. So that was my first concept art job.
So you took that.
Actually, you know what? No, I did some concept art through John K for that studio in Texas. What's it called? Jorge did a movie with
Jorge Guartes.
yeah. What is that studio called?
Book of Life.
What's that studio?
I don't know the studio's
studio
name, but his movie.
He did Book of Life there.
I helped John do some pitches or development for a Dr. Seuss movie and then like a Viking movie.
John did a Dr. Seuss movie.
Just development, yeah. It was It was.
That would have been fun.
I think it was like the birthday book or something.
Cool.
I can't even remember now. Yeah, me and Jim Smith were doing it with
So-
John.
That's kind of interesting that you left Paul Reddish for Genndy Tartakovsky.
Well, because they were friends.
Didn't Paul work on Samurai Jack? At one point?
Yeah, no,
He
they
worked in like Two Stupid Dogs.
Two Stupid
Dr.
Dogs.
they
Slab,
worked
yeah.
with each other since like Hanna-Barbera, like when they were really young, and then like I think they even briefly had a studio with Craig Kelman and someone else. Like all those group of guys.
Yeah, they had their own studio for a
There's
short
like Andy
time.
Bjork,
Yeah.
Carrie Yost. They're all like in the same group of people.
Nice.
Or Faust.
So okay, so this Popeye story is probably pretty interesting.
Oh yeah,
Went over
no.
there and what happened?
So that was Sony ImageWorks, and you're excused.
Am I? Yeah, I have to leave.
You're welcome.
Okay. Say thank you.
You're still welcome. Yeah, no. So I was doing concept art on that, and that was super cool. Just because like he wanted to do it like heavy Fleischer style, like
Yeah, of
really
course.
cartoony, and like there was a few animatics I saw while there, and it was great. And there was even a short that like they made for. God, what was it? It was like either American Idol or Dancing with Stars that never saw the light of day. Never was released.
Wow.
There's news to me.
Yeah. No, yeah, because it never was released.
Yeah.
But they did release. So part of like there was a animation test that they did release to the public, And that's the
saw
only
that.
thing you can Google and find.
Right.
Is that
Are your concepts for this movie anywhere? I would love to see them. Are they locked up?
you know what? I've always worried that like I wasn't allowed to show those, so they're in my private portfolio.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, and so it was me. One of the other character designers on Mickey Mouse for years, although he doesn't live here, is Steven DiStefano.
Yeah,
and he's like definitely reigning king of like old timey cartoon
Yeah,
style.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. His stuff is great.
Oh, he's super cool. So he was the guy I was working with, and we would like have video chats every week because he lives in New York.
Oh, okay.
So I was very like lonely in the
yeah, he's
in
always
that
posting his
department.
Mickey Mouse drawings,
And
it's freaking amazing.
So like that was like the second thing I'd worked with him on, even though not in person. But I sat next to amazing artist who has the same name as another artist, so a lot of people get them confused. But now he's like working with development people in Nickelodeon. Oh my god, what is his name? He's big and tall. John.
Not Ben Johns.
No. Oh my god.
Bill Smith.
He designed a Coraline and stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh my god. I hate that I can't remember his name.
It'll come to you.
No.
Then-
We used to always talk about British shows.
I don't know.
He's
I know
out
we're
there,
blanking.
it's fine.
We'll fill it in later. Just say his name was beep, and then we'll fill it in.
His name was.
Yep, that was his name. Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah.
I love that name. That's one of my favorites. That guy. We're gonna.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Okay, so I have a question though about this.
I'm gonna die and
What
burn in
happened-
hell.
We're all gonna die, and well, hell is not real. So
I mean, I'm gonna burn in cartoon hell,
Okay, that'd be
because
fun.
I'm just gonna get trapped in my own psyche.
Cartoon hell exists.
Yeah,
those
exactly.
boys, yeah. So what happened when Popeye went belly up? Like, what happened to everyone that was working on it?
Laid off,
They all
or
just got laid off?
or went on to different projects at the studio.
Okay. Wow, that's so sad.
I mean, it's sad just because it would have been a really cool film, and I was really excited.
I was excited too, man.
Yeah.
That test was great.
I completely
Oh,
forgot you worked on Popeye.
Yeah, no, I mean because it never came out, so
because you were there for so long.
yeah.
I was like, oh, that's perfect for Kali.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
So then, okay, what I did after that was I worked on the Community episode that Rob Schraub directed, G.I. Jeff.
Jeff. Oh,
And I actually animated.
Mm.
Yeah. Because, for most things I've ever done in animation, I've only ever animated like once or twice.
Yeah, was that all animated, I guess, in-house at
Starburns. No. They had some stuff they were sending out to studios in China and Korea, but it wasn't coming out so great, so we did a lot of it again.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that happens quite often.
But I animated in Photoshop.
What? How? What?
Yep, you can do it.
There is.
I mean, I think some people they were doing well. So okay, Rob didn't want it to look like Flash, so then like people were using Animate,
Okay, got it.
But he was like I shared his office with him because he was like, please come work on this show. He's like, you can sit in the office with me to sweeten the deal. I'm like, I would have done it anyway, but sure, I'll sit in the office with you. But like people were turning in scenes like from the other studios, which I don't know what they were in China or something. And he's like, why does this look like Flash? I told him not to use Flash. I'm like, Rob, people can still animate like Flash in different programs.
Sure.
Flash is a style. It's not just a program. And he's like, God damn it. He's like, I wish I would have consulted with you months ago. Would have saved myself a lot of pain.
So you guys were trying to go for like that authentic 80s look, right?
Yeah, we're trying to make it look like it was actually a G.I. Joe cartoon.
Yeah.
So we brought on Sevon Nigerian, who's a Channel 101 alumni, and he does a lot of visual effects for mostly live action usually, but he does animation too. And we streamlined our own system because like I would just give him my PSD and I would label it, and he's so fucking fast with doing lip sync. I just put exactly what all the lip sync was. I was like, like the chart.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like, you know what to do, and he's like, yeah, I do. And we had a system where he'd do it so fast.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have to export each drawing. He would know how to go into my PSD and organize it because I would label everything and would
So
animate
he's
like that.
The Neo of Mouth.
Of lips, he's lip sync king, man.
It's amazing
as far as
'cause he
I'm
also
concerned,
does, like, lighting and camera stuff, right?
he's insanely talented.
He's also a super old friend of Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like you,
Abed,
Justin, and
Sevon,
Abed.
and Justin came from NorCal together. There was the three of them working together. They did the House of Cosby's.
Yeah, House of Cosby.
But yeah, no, Sevon's like super genius when it comes to like technical things. But yeah, no, once we got that figured out. But yeah, no, like there was like cool people working on that, like Brent Knoll and other people.
Yeah, he should be on the show too.
Yeah.
Brent's working on animals right now.
Oh,
as a background designer.
nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, no, so that was a fun experience just because, like, I never animate, really. And that was really fun to animate. And Julie Vickman did the designs, who I worked with forever ago at 6 Point. So I've known her for so long.
Yeah.
But she's really good at drawing super realistic stuff.
Oh, cool. So it's a lot of, like, you're running into... From one studio to the next, you're running into somebody you knew here and somebody you knew here. So it's like, becomes a big family.
Yeah. And that was the first time I worked with Rob. Like, I had been friends with him for years at that point.
Because of Channel 101.
Yeah. Okay. And his wife is my best friend. I would say he's also my best friend. Everyone's my best friend.
I feel like everyone is your best
not
friend.
you.
No, not me. Clearly not
Brian's
me.
my best friend.
Oh, well, I met you today. Maybe, like, give me a couple weeks.
You don't like it? Look at that face.
Apparently, yeah.
Anyone who comes to see
like
any of my shows is my best friend because that's like such a large commitment.
You trying to get me not to buy a ticket?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was appreciating you supporting the arts.
Of course I'm coming.
Can I go on a
your
tangent
show.
for a second and just ask what kind of music you play?
You're in
the band Kali Kazoo, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you're
guess
Kali
it's
Kazoo?
indie rock, indie pop rock.
Indie rock, indie pop rock. So you started singing it, like, right? That's okay,
Yep.
cool. Nice. Okay, well, I want to...
I don't know.
Can we use music in our podcast
You
and play it?
sure can.
Don't sue us, whoever is in charge of that stuff.
I think my music only ever gets played on podcasts.
Nice.
It's only platform.
And we will continue to do so. Okay, so we're running out of time here.
We are?
Kind of. I mean,
Shit.
It's only
I gotta
'cause
expedite this.
No,
Okay.
Okay, listen. We're not
Okay.
running out of time. If you
Okay.
have more to say, you can say.
Okay.
We've gone for about an hour and 20. But
Okay.
listen,
I got a lot. Okay, I'll speed it up.
And you can
I'll
take
just,
your time.
We're tangent city over
We'll
here.
get comfy.
I blame you.
Me?
Yeah, I
No,
don't
it
think
is
I
my
did
fault.
anything wrong.
No.
Yeah,
You're right.
same.
No, it's 100% my fault. I'll take the blame. So let's see. Where
You're
were
welcome.
We were at. You were.
Okay, so
you were
Community, and
4
then
years old watching your
so
cartoons.
the awesome DuckTales that came out.
Yeah, that was great.
was one of, I don't know how many people they probably asked a bunch of people, but they approached me about like, how would you do DuckTales? So I
Wow.
did do a pitch of that.
Oh, no way.
Which I think I posted some art, but it was like I didn't say what it was about.
Uh-huh.
I just posted it like kind of slyly, like fan art.
Of what, like DuckTales?
Yeah, DuckTales
Characters, or was it the actual?
No, it was DuckTales. They
Oh.
wanted me to like how would you do DuckTales? So that was my first time doing like a pitch. Like I had been asked before to do pitches, but I always like didn't think I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first time reimagining a thing, or just pitching anything really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I didn't pitch it. They asked me to.
Yeah. They
I
kind of
don't know.
asked you to put a pitch together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I mean, because I'd worked in development at Disney, so every so often I occasionally still do development for Disney.
Sure. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So while we're on the subject of like pitching something, any
Mm-hmm.
advice for people that are trying to pitch it?
If you feel like you're not that good of a writer, there's no shame in teaming up with a writer. Don't think that like. Also, don't get married to your ideas at all.
Nice. That's a really, really good advice, because I know a lot of people that got way too married to their ideas and they're trying to pitch it for like 12 years and then they just can't give it up. I'm like,
It's a terrible
change it a
idea.
little. Change it. Let it be
Basically,
organic.
I've known people that like they pitch stuff around town and then everyone says no and they're like, well, I'm gonna still pitch it or do it on my own and then prove them wrong, which could definitely maybe be the case, but usually not.
Definitely, maybe.
It's usually doesn't work out.
Maybe, definitely.
Well, it's like art in general, at least studio art. It's collaborative.
Yeah.
Yeah. and
See, that's the
part
thing.
of it.
You like basically you're going to bring your idea to a studio and you're going to be working with that studio to make that idea. So you're going to be collaborating with them.
Yeah.
And if you're not listening to what they have to say, like oh, maybe you should do this or instead, or maybe you should do that, like then and it's not going to work out that well.
Yeah.
I mean, also, a little thought in mind, to produce or pitch it to a studio you would believe would understand, or your vision.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So like I mean I guess I can't say what it is, but I am developing something at Nickelodeon.
Ooh. Scandalous.
Scandal. Yeah, and so and it takes a long time, so be patient.
Sure, it takes years. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Where do we leave off in your in your ass?
Oh, so right after that, I think I actually so that was the first time I had ever like was asked to develop something. So then I got bit by that bug, and then I developed something, or I pitched something with Abed and Rich Fulcher.
Okay, cool. What'd you pitch? Can you talk about it or no?
I don't remember what it was, but I just met Rich Fulcher through Abed, who's awesome. He's from the Mighty Boosh, and he has a podcast now with Abed. He's so fucking funny. So we pitched something, and it didn't really work out. So I was like, but then what did I do after that? So then Thurup hit me up on Facebook.
Van Orman?
Yeah.
Did you know him already or no?
No, I'd never met him.
He's the creator of Flapjack, if you don't know.
And that's why it's important to keep posting art online and have an online presence, because then people will be like, oh, yeah, that person, I've seen her website.
Yeah.
I think that's also actually how Gindi found me. I think he later asked Paul, what do you think of her? But I think he first saw my website because someone said oh, I think this girl's cartoony, or
Oh, that's
do you have
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice to make your website stand out from others? Apparently yours is well received. Do you have
yeah.
any
I've definitely transitioned toward Instagram as the thing I post the most on.
Mm-hmm.
It always changes. I think before it was Blogspot, and then it was Tumblr, and now I feel like it's more Instagram than Tumblr.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So stay with the times. Is the most
just
important
follow the herd. Be a follower.
Bye.
Just post a lot, and try to push yourself. I don't know. Yeah. Just stay. Yeah. Try to draw every day.
Try every day. Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it won't hurt. It won't hurt you.
Never.
I'm getting worse.
So he hit me up, and then I worked on I worked at DreamWorks TV on Home.
Oh yeah,
which was the cartoon TV version of the movie.
Yeah,
and it was before the movie had come out.
Purple alien, he's so cute.
And it was funny too, because it was while they were developing it, they thought the movie wasn't going to do that well, and then it ended up doing really well.
Yes.
So then the show got
It has another season right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, they kept going on. So I was there for a year, and so there I was doing storyboard revision. I originally was pulled in to do design, but then they wanted me to do special poses and stuff, and then it just kind of turned into storyboard revision. And then Thurup had to leave to go do a movie, or he was developing a movie at that same place that Jorge was at. I can't remember. It's in Texas.
I don't remember the name of it.
Isn't he doing Angry Birds 2 right now?
I mean, yeah, I think that's what he's doing now. I think he was doing something before that. I don't know. But he left early, and then I didn't really know. I mean, I knew the people I was working with, but by the end of it, I left to go work on Lego Movie 2 as a concept artist for Rob Schraub.
Is that the Batman one, or?
No. That's the sequel to the Lego Movie.
An actual sequel with characters. Oh, cool.
It was Rob's not on anymore, but when he was on it. But when I left, and I said I'm going to a job as concept artist, some of them were like, oh, you're a concept artist? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh. Look, we thought you wanted to be a board artist someday. I'm like, how old do you guys think I am? I think they thought I was a lot younger, and I guess, I don't know, it just never came up in conversation, so they didn't know. Yeah. I don't know.
And as we all learned, boarding makes you sad.
I don't like it. I don't know why. I like designing, and I like color, and I like conceptual stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely want to move into, I'm trying to, and I am on my own, art directing and supervising. I mean, I'm art directing my pilot.
Yeah. Maybe because there's no color on board generally. It's black and white or gray.
I like design. I like color and design. I like, and I like acting, which obviously that is part of boarding. But that's the only part I like. But you can do acting in other ways though. You can do it with animating and designing.
Yeah, for sure. So we're getting pretty close to.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting close to. Now.
Oh yeah, so then I worked on the Lego movie, the Lego sequel, which still hasn't come out yet, but it will soon. It's So Rob Schraub was the original director on it.
Okay.
And
who took over for him?
That guy who did Trolls. I don't know his name. If you've learned anything, I only know 50% of names.
Too. In the Troll movie, he's the voice of the Cloud guy too.
I haven't watched the movie, but I worked on
the show, so.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so that was cool. I was designing Legos, and that was kind of fun because I actually got to play with Legos and design with Legos was a really fun thing to do.
Your job playing with Legos?
Oh my god,
every kid's dream.
Literally, there was a guy who all he did all day was build Legos, and I was like, what? What is this? It's fun. It's what's funny too. My parents growing up, they thought I was going to be the one struggling, and my brother was really smart. I mean, my brother is really smart.
So is he struggling?
I mean, he's doing all right. He's doing fine. No, that wasn't the point I was trying to make. It's the fact that I ended up doing way better than they thought.
Yeah.
Because they would make fun of me you're 14, 15, you're still watching cartoons, you're watching baby cartoons, you're playing with your Legos, you're doing all this dumb shit, and it all worked out. It was all stuff that ended up being really important
So
in my
don't
life.
Don't be ashamed of watching cartoons and playing with Legos and toys and stuff when you're like in high school.
You can watch
Do it.
Clifford the Big Red Dog
We
for as
all
long as you
did it
want.
here, and we all still do it.
You know what's weird? I think it's more widely accepted now in internet culture, but
Yeah.
before then it wasn't.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
fair.
you're right.
We're in a nerd renaissance.
Yeah.
I mean, we really
we
are.
That's the truth.
It's weird.
Nerd is the new cool.
We are king.
We are
Yeah,
so,
no.
So after Lego Movie, what'd you do?
So then what did I do? So I think, okay, so, also this whole time I'm doing freelance and stuff. So I did freelance on Uncle Grandpa, Clarence,
Oh, nice.
a bunch of other shows.
Character design?
Yeah, always character design for the most part now. Oh, actually, I skipped over it earlier, but like Mike Chili and I, we made a short that came out a million years later, but we art directed and created a short together for Yo Gabba Gabba that came out like 6 years after we made it.
What was it?
It was just a short on one episode. It was to an Erykah Badu song. And we animated it and designed it and directed it and everything. It was super fun.
Yo Gabba Gabba has some good art styles.
Yeah, no,
Definitely
it was
good art
like
direction.
Julie Vickerman was the art director that season, so I think she pulled us in. Yeah.
That's
Julie's
so
great.
cool. Nice.
She's got a show now.
Oh, does she? What show?
I don't think it's come out yet, but it's on Netflix. She developed it with Cartoon Network. 12 Forever.
12 Forever. Oh,
Mhm.
cool. Let's check it out.
Um.
I think I might have heard of that.
Okay, so that came out. Okay, so anyway, but blah blah blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Freelance stuff. So then I for a year I was on Puny's Danger and Eggs, which is you can watch on Amazon,
Nice.
and I was a character designer on that. Yeah, it's super cute. It's the first show to have like a Pride Day episode.
Oh, nice.
And like trans characters, prominent Shadi Patowski is a trans kind of like spokesperson.
Mhm.
It was super cool to be a part of, and pastel, which I like.
Is it out already, Danger and Eggs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I have to
It's
watch
first
that.
season. There's no word yet on season 2.
Okay.
They're really making her wait.
Oh, no.
Wait, I feel. Yeah. Anyway.
I think Amazon's kind of like testing all the waters.
Yeah,
right
and I
now.
think they just didn't their president just get stepped down because he was like
No, he was a showrunner on
somebody at Amazon was doing.
I think it was Man of the
Some
High
nasty
Castle.
stuff. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now.
He's
Or
a-
coming out.
Higher up, but no, I don't think.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know. I have no idea. Well, anyway, I was on that for like a year, and this past year I've just mostly been doing freelance. I did freelance for a SpongeBob episode,
Oh, wow.
and been developing my show at Nickelodeon with Jordan Harris, who's a live action writer, but I pulled him in because he's a good writer.
Oh, cool.
And then what was that? And I worked with Lauren Faust over summer on a project that has yet to be announced, so I can't say what it is.
Faust, She was the MLP? Or no? What's that?
My Little Pony. Yeah. So she's at Warner Brothers working on some stuff.
She did Powerpuff Girls, right? Or was that? Or what did Lauren Faust work on?
She's worked on all that.
Okay.
Girls, My Little Pony.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's
Lab,
Lab.
right? Cool. Yeah,
Wander Over Yonder.
DC
oh yeah, and the
Superhero
DC
Girls.
Superhero Girl shorts. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
for sure.
So
you did
yeah,
some stuff with her.
yeah. And she told me that it was Craig McCracken who like recommended me. She was like, I
Craig's
want like a
her
girl.
husband, right?
Yeah, and so like she was like trying to think of like a girl artist for designs, and he, because we follow each other online.
Ah, cool.
I don't know.
Hey, Lauren.
I don't know who watches
Oh
this.
no, Lauren's our main viewer, Lauren Faust.
Yay,
Good to see
Craig.
you again, Lauren.
But yeah, thanks, Craig McCracken.
Yeah. Thanks, Craig. Awesome. And was that the last stuff you were working on?
No, I did.
there's more.
I did some development for
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, some just random things, and now I'm doing some freelance this week for Mighty Magicoids.
Oh, nice. Wow, you're all over the place.
I am all over the place, but I like that because I like doing different things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, wait, can you tell us anything else about your pilot, or is that secret?
I don't think I'm allowed to. I think I don't know. Nickelodeon.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't. If you don't know, then let's not do it.
It's in development. She's
gonna
working
be
on it.
great.
Yeah,
Been in development for a while. Takes a while.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
for sure.
look out for.
Hey,
it.
is Phil Rindo watching? He's probably like, no, don't say anything. You're not supposed to say that. And I get a call tomorrow.
No one can know about the pilot.
Yeah, I know.
But people have pilots going all the time.
No, I know.
It's part of the industry.
Yeah,
I mean, this is my first pilot.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Maybe it'll come out someday.
Sure.
Maybe.
But you also had your comic Mod.
Yeah, that was like I made her up the day I graduated college. But yeah, I never do that much with her. I'm bad.
So let's see what we can learn from Kali. We're learning so much, but I think right now it's really important to constantly be meeting and talking to people and putting yourself out there and having a internet presence.
Internet.
And also being what seems to me like a
internet.
social butterfly. Am I right?
I mean a little. I don't. You know what's weird? I'm one of those people. I can be introverted and extroverted.
Yeah.
It depends on the
But it
situation.
seems like you meet everybody and then everyone automatically likes you.
Oh, thank you. Or what if they hate me?
No, they do. When you leave, they say that, but I didn't want to say that.
What? No, I mean, I don't know. I think it's, I know people in animation that aren't that extroverted and they do just fine because like your work speaks for itself.
Sure.
I think it's just about just drawing all the time, just drawing every day. I don't know. But yeah, being sociable can help.
Yeah,
but
sure.
not always. There's been a situation where I haven't been sociable and it's been fine.
There's a kind of a range or a graph I've been telling people this. It's basically if you're the best artist in the world, of course no one is, but like if you're the best artist in the world and you have terrible social skills, like maybe you're an asshole, you're right in the middle.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, that person's a great artist, but they're kind of hard to work with, they're assholes, so it'll put you right in the middle. But if you're the best artist in the world and great social skills, then you're probably going to work frequently. A lot of people are going to like you. Yeah. But if you're terrible social skills and terrible artist, no one's going to work with you.
Yeah.
But by the opposite, if you're a terrible artist with some pretty good social skills, that'll push you up in the middle.
See, I would say I'm somewhere in that range because I think that's how I got my job with Mickey. I don't think I was an amazing artist. I think Paul's like, she's fun to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, that helps.
I think that
helps.
You build a connection.
Again,
But if you didn't have the skills, you would have been fired.
Yeah. I guess so.
That's true, because people do get fired.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, I've never been fired, thankfully.
Except for the laid off. But
well, that's different. That's
very, very different.
That's not based on our
Yeah, I've never been fired.
Yeah.
Never been fired. Now I'm trying. Okay, so I have actually turned in my portfolio when they already were interested in hiring me, or they're like, "Can we see your stuff?" But for the most part, usually they don't because it's just usually on the internet.
Disney at the time.
Yeah, I mean, no, well, not for that. I'm thinking of like a recent thing, like where they like, "Oh, can we see your portfolio?" Yeah, I don't know. I think like maybe I've gotten 2 jobs from seeing my portfolio.
Yeah, and it seems to me like you've had a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
So
I'm all over the place.
In a good way.
And I like so like in those downtimes, like I've done comic book covers and I've done children's books.
Cool.
So I think what else you could do?
What comic book covers?
Sell your body? No. No.
Let's end on that. Okay.
I did a comic book cover for Rick and Morty, which I think they contacted me again saying they're gonna re-release like a big collection, a book, and they are gonna put my cover on a big hardbound book.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because they already have volume 1 of that.
Of the big
collection. So I think it might be a reprint of volume 1, and it'll have my cover on that.
Oh,
nice.
So that's cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, I can't wait to get a big box in the mail.
What was your cover? Can you describe it for the people?
It was so at the time, I think Brian mentioned this earlier, I was really into drawing cut-up girls, which I actually had to stop because it actually messed me up from getting a job once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're drawing what?
They're not even like gross. They're just kind of like interesting cartoony dissection.
So sometimes sometimes I have feelings, and a great way to draw your feelings is like to draw how you feel without saying what the feeling is. So I drew a self-portrait once of myself cut into little slivers of body parts, and then I just started drawing girls cut up into body parts just because I thought it was fun to just draw that.
Sure, sounds fun.
But it's like when you draw the cut-ups, it's kind of like cartoon slabs.
Yeah, it's like
little,
it's not actually anatomically
violence.
It's got like dog bones, not. But like I stopped doing it because there was some point where I was doing a comic book cover for a cartoon that was from my network that I will remain nameless, but someone in their I don't know what department saw my website, and then they immediately told me that they weren't going to to stop the comic book cover and that they weren't going to be releasing it. Wow. And if I released something, I had to say it was fan art. I couldn't legally say that I was paid to do it. Wow. I know, it's super lame.
Cartoony cut-ups?
Yeah, apparently. But, apparently they'd never seen Johnny Ryan.
Yeah.
Had a television show for kids.
He did. My God, I don't know how he pulled it off.
See, this is the thing. I feel like most people do draw crazy stuff. So I don't know.
I mean,
it was
the
weird.
Sanjay Craig guy draws some pretty crazy stuff on his Instagram.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know.
I think someone just had a negative and poor reaction and maybe looking for an excuse.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't let that
I would.
deter you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say
Draw
just
what you want.
to
It's like-
buttress that.
yeah.
Don't censor yourself. It's not fair to your artistic creativity. Let your work show. Someone will look at that
Yeah.
stuff and find you for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be ready for some people to, say things you're not happy about your work, but at the same time, don't let that stop you from drawing what you love.
Oh, so the tangent. Okay, so Rick and Morty. I drew Rick looking at a tiny Morty that's all cut up in like a little like a science beaker.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, cool. It's all pastel and cute.
Pastel and cute. Yeah, that's just
In reference to making the show pastel and cute. Yeah, no, I heard in the pilot there's Mike Chilling designed these twins and they looked so much like twins that I was friends with in high school that I colored them like them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so
remember those guys are
excited.
still used. Like the
Yeah, the red haired twins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and one of them he actually worked in animation for a long time. Unrelated to me, he fell into it. He was a film guy, and he ended up being the production manager on The Simpsons for like 7 years. So one of those guys, he was the production manager on The Simpsons.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. Only I know that.
Deep cut.
Yeah, and considering that there's a ton of Simpsons people working on Rick and Morty now.
Yeah. No, I remember because when he was working there, he brought Chillian and I to take a tour of The Simpsons when they were doing their 500th episode.
Wow.
It was really cool.
Nice. Pretty cool.
Big Simpsons fan.
So, I know since it's getting to almost the hour and 40-minute mark soon, we should probably start wrapping things up. Unless you have a lot more to say. I don't want to.
I have so much to say right now.
That was really
Just edit it in.
Eloquent.
That was a lot.
eloquent.
Thank
Very
you.
eloquent
Thank you.
words.
Just. I always feel like I'm missing something. Like I'm leaving something
Hey,
important
listen,
out.
You can always come back and keep chatting.
Okay, cool.
Like, yeah,
well, maybe
like-
by the time I come back, I'll have like cooler stuff to say.
We'll have you back on in another 10 years, and then you can tell us the 10 years of work you've done. There.
We'll all be dead.
We'll all be dead.
Yeah, in that future.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
true. 10 years is a
I
bit.
mean, in Star Trek world, LA is underwater by this point. I mean, it got lost in World War III.
That's right.
After the what is the war?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
World War
Oh,
III.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone is expecting it at this point.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm.
This far away from it.
I don't
Well,
know. Yeah.
Callie, do you have any like other last minute advice for like animation people that want to get into the animation industry right now? Any last minute thing that if you said it once, you can reiterate
Oh
a
yeah.
point, or you
so
can just new
yeah,
stuff?
you should email and message and hit up people online that you admire, but don't harass them. I've
Fine line for sure.
there's a fine line, and then there's also people that like you can tell that they don't like. I definitely can. Sometimes there's a language barrier, but like I've definitely been harassed by people before, and they're just desperately trying to figure out how to get in. And I try to give them advice like, well, don't message someone like this. Like there was one person I felt bad for, and I explained what they did wrong so that they wouldn't keep doing it to other people. But just be like respectful. Don't like if you message them and then you see them online somewhere else and then you're messaging them like, hey, how come you haven't read my message yet? That's crossing a line.
Yeah, that's a line.
Because then it's like harassment. But so yeah, just be very polite and just be like, will you please give me some advice? You know, don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Because most
Good advice. That's good.
yeah, most people in the industry will be more than willing to help you or provide any
Definitely.
advice. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, everyone in the animation, not everyone, but a lot of people in the animation industry are incredibly down to earth.
Yeah.
They're a good mix of like the best part of every other industry.
And sometimes people are busy. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, it's often a lot.
So
It's
if they don't get to you right away, or I also Facebook. Don't message me on Facebook. I
Don't do it.
have a folder that is so frighteningly big of messages that I've just abandoned it. Message me on like Tumblr or Instagram. It's a lot more manageable.
Now those are gonna
Do
get. full.
you want to give your Tumblr, your Instagram?
Oh yeah, so everywhere now this is confusing, but everywhere it's Kali Kazoo at Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Blogspot's basically dead, but whatever.
But MySpace.
But that's not what, like, as an artist, I'd go by my full name, Kali Fontecchio. But Kali Kazoo is the name of my band, not to be confused with all my handles. I don't know why.
It's all one big
yeah.
circle Ouroboros snake eating
Yeah,
itself. It's
yeah.
fine.
So yeah, Kali Kazoo, KALIKAZOO.
Awesome. Thanks for the links. I'm sure everyone's gonna go check your stuff out.
Yeah, just go to Instagram.
Check them out. Is that where you post most of your stuff?
Yeah, I like Instagram, man.
Instagram's great.
A lot of people use Instagram now.
Yeah, like Facebook's like
Abandoned.
It's
a good place to post
Nick
your thoughts.
It's a good place to talk to your mom.
Yeah, good place to talk to your mom and your grandma. But like Instagram is great now that you can post multiple images. You can do like, hey, here's some concept art.
Oh,
about,
definitely.
something like
Yeah,
that.
just Instagram, man. Or Tumblr's okay, but Instagram.
Tumblr has a bad stigma attached to it now.
I know.
Twitter's
Almost going down the hole. We need a new web. Like I feel like they used to come out left and right.
Yeah.
Well, and it was probably at a boom at the time, but now we're kind of like
It's kind of level. It's kind of
leveling
plateau.
Now everything's full of Nazis. You gotta shake them out.
Shake the Nazis out.
Get 'em out.
Beat the rug.
Yeah.
My favorite art website is called Giphy, where you upload
Oh, I've used Giphy for years. That's where I used to post my Photoshop animations, which I haven't done lately because I'm lazy.
GIFFY.
GIPHY.
yeah.
Oh,
GI.
never
Oh
used
yeah.
it.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It's great because you can post GIFs to Instagram. People have asked me how do you do that. It's Giphy.
It's Giphy.
And that's
Moms
the correct
like
way
you
to say
choose
GIF.
Giphy.
GIF. It stands for graphics. Graphics, not GIF. Graphics.
It's not Jaffic.
Did you say graphics?
I do
Graphics.
I say traffic.
Well, okay then,
Giraffics.
whatever.
Welcome to Giraffics Park.
Actually, so my roommate came up with a great new website. He's like Twitter, but no Nazis.
Your roommate being.
Oh, Spencer Crittenden.
Oh, I was gonna ask you.
He knows him.
Oh yeah, I know Spencer too. I'm a good
Oh,
buddy.
you do?
I'm a good buddy, Spencer.
Oh yeah. Because right, you guys are all at Starburns, right?
Oh, I have my Harmon Quest shirt on.
Oh shit! I didn't even see the angle you were sitting at.
Yeah, my boob is.
I'm very blind. It's just basically like a white blur.
Me and Spencer are like this.
Oh yeah, no, he's the best. But
He needs to be
yeah,
on the show.
he's like
Yeah, we
he's
need
like
Spence.
he's easily one of my new favorite people.
What's it like living with Spence?
It's great. Like he taught me how to play Magic the Gathering,
Nice.
I love magic.
and so I'm like a master because Spencer taught me.
You play D&D with him?
No, he did. I mean, he mostly plays Magic. I think he only does D&D professionally.
No, he only does it for Harmon Quest.
I mean, I feel like if I did something professionally that I did as like a fun thing, it
wouldn't
would
do it
kill
at all.
the fun thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soon enough, we need to have like.
It's a lot of work.
We need to have like a Spencer show about magic, and then he'll stop playing that.
I know, right? Oh man, yeah. I should get on him about that.
Yeah.
I've been dragging him to, not dragging him, like Kate Freund, Rob Schraub's wife. She really got into Magic recently too. So we've been doing these giant multiplayer games with the guys who did Lasagna Cat.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And it's so much fun. We play for 8 hours straight in fucking Spencer.
Brian, you have to check this
Oh,
out. Have
you know who?
seen it?
I feel like I've heard.
Oh my god, Lasagna Cat's like internet gold.
It's gold. They just
Lasagna
said it,
Cat,
yeah.
you're welcome. If you've never seen it, hours of fun. Fatal Farm guys. But yeah,
Okay, I know them.
the only person that can destroy Spencer is the guy who does the music for Rick and Morty, Ryan Elder.
Yeah, Ryan.
He's a judge.
Yeah,
Magic judge.
No way.
Yeah, I played Magic with Ryan before.
Playing with them is basically just it's depressing because they're like, oh, I just killed you infinitely. I'm like, pick a number. He literally, Ryan Elder said, literally pick a number. I'm like, 1,000,000. He's like, I kill you 1,000,000 points. Like, okay, can I say 50? He's like, yeah, but still, you're dead. Doesn't matter. Infinite amount of times. I'm like,
Wow.
this
They
game.
played it too because all the card
Oh.
combinations they know most of them. So
Yeah,
It's terrifying.
they never have a bad hand.
They're
Oh,
like
yeah,
the-
no. Oh,
they're
and
like
so-
the
and then-
John Nash of Magic.
Exactly. And then Zach, Fail Farm guy, Lasagna Cat guy, has every card. I'm not joking. He has a
Okay.
giant cabinet, and they're all organized perfectly, color coded,
Jeez, and
alphabetically.
It's insane.
Every card.
That-
People got intense
It's a
with this.
nightmare.
Magic has been around since I think I was in middle school.
Oh, me too.
Oh.
Yeah, middle
Yeah.
school at least.
Wait,
Probably
wait.
elementary school for me.
To pull it back to Otis, just really quickly before I know you were trying to wrap it up. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I was playing Magic with Spencer, and I was like really getting into like only wanting to build a deck with cards that are pretty, and he's like, we can do that. We can build you a pretty deck. I don't care. Oh, actually, he's gonna help me build a cat deck. But anyway, I was looking at one of the cards, and I would read the names, and one of the fucking names was a kid I was a TA. He was a younger guy than me at Otis. Aton Zana. He's a concept artist, and I was like, what are the fucking odds of me
Was
getting
he-
a card that he drew a drawing on for Magic?
Oh, you did a drawing.
that
of
insane?
That is insane.
What are the? And I was like, you can't forget that name because
No.
it's such a weird ass name.
I was gonna suggest was he named after the artist?
No, it was him. It was
Wow.
fucking weird,
That's
right?
crazy.
That's a coincidence, man. It's a
Yeah.
small industry, small world. Wow, that's crazy.
Smalls.
My favorite song.
Are we legally allowed to say that? I don't know.
No, we'll play your music over it. It's fine.
Nice.
Good solution.
Nice.
So, I think we're coming to an end here. I think we're pulling it all together, wrapping it all up. We learned so much from you, Kali.
Yay!
It was so fun.
I hope so.
You are a blast of energy and fun.
Ass
and
blast.
You're an ass blast for sure.
Blast from the ass.
Blast from the ass, yeah. That's what we'll title this episode. Kali Kazoo, Blast from the Ass.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's within theme.
I love it.
So thanks so much for being on our show. Do you have any
Yeah, thank you for
last-minute
having
things you
me.
want to say to out there?
When is this airing?
Oh, well, when people are watching this today.
Yeah.
But
Oh, so is this live?
No. I'm just saying because they're not going to watch it till you're going to ask the question when they
The
watch
magic
it.
of the
But,
internet.
When's
not
this coming out?
Not this Wednesday, but probably next.
Okay, it's too late, but I have a Kickstarter going on. It's going to end in like I think 50 hours from now
I'm sorry. I wish it was live.
Check out her work.
for my band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But check out her band anyway in retroactively
Kali Kazoo.
support.
Please check out our band.
Check out. You can watch us making it. We're scheduled to. If we get the money, we'll be starting on Saturday
You
in studio.
You have 2 albums out now?
2 albums out. They're on. You can get them on CALI-kazoo.com. But yeah, this will be our first in studio album with Toshi Kasai, who is a producer for the Melvins and stuff. Who recently were Uncle Grandpa, and that's how I met Toshi. Was through the Manx.
I heard about that. That's crazy.
Who got the Melvins to be on Uncle Grandpa because of Toshi. Anyway,
Got it.
That's amazing.
small world.
Dude, yeah, you have your foot in everything. That's
Oh,
great.
I didn't even go into all of it. I almost did an anime cartoon for Mark Mothersbaugh with John Kay.
Wow.
I reunited them after 20
Did you
years.
say an anime cartoon?
Animated.
An animated cartoon.
It was going to be a music video. I came up with the idea because like John didn't know anything about Diva, so I explained him whole
John
mythology.
doesn't know a lot about
He's
a
too
lot of
busy
things.
analyzing cartoons.
Aw.
He doesn't. I know.
No, I know,
for-
but it didn't not happen because Warner Brothers like we're not going to pay for that.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, no.
Warner Brothers. All right.
But yeah, no.
Well, Kali, thanks again for being on our show.
I'm
You're-
so sorry. Should I
you're
say
awesome.
something else and like keep ruining this ending
Yeah,
for
you
you?
want to try again?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kali, you have any last minute things to say out to everybody there?
Hey, how's it going?
That's great. That's a great way to end a podcast is to ask how it's going. I think I've always said that, and I will continue to say it. That's gonna be on my epitaph.
That's fair.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just fucking with you now.
So Kali, thanks
can-
thanks for being on our show.
She's drunk.
You're
You're
welcome.
awesome.
I'm not drunk.
She's
I'm
only
just-
at-
we're
she's-
drinking apple juice.
Yeah, how can you get
Fair.
drunk off apple juice? Come on, man. So, do we want to do a Brian's words of wisdom?
Don't. I think I did. Don't be a dick last time, but you know.
Don't have a dick.
Yeah. That helps. That's helping so much right now.
Oh
it
man!
is.
Also, this is a turning point. This is all shows are gonna be women now.
It should
Men
be.
are gonna be like
Let's flip-
enslaved.
Yeah, flip the script.
Please. Oh man.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to be enslaved. I'm so
I can't
excited
wait.
for that.
I can't wait till every show creator is a woman.
It's gonna happen. It needs
I'm
to
so
happen.
excited.
Or at least like it's like all right. Let's start it off like art directors, women, writers, women, directors, women, executives, women.
I mean, literally, we're at a crossroads. It's either gonna be we're gonna be looking at a future Nazi world or just women.
Yeah, we gotta make a hard choice.
So,
right now.
do you? What do you want?
What
Do you
about
want a
women?
Nazi?
What about women Nazis? They're out there. Don't discriminate.
No, you're
There's so few.
ruining it.
There's so few and far between now.
I know.
I'll take my chances with the ladies.
Just,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
will I. So will
you
I.
guys remember Wolfenstein?
Oh, I'm playing it.
Nazis
right
were the bad guys.
I'm still
the bad
I'm
guys.
playing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolfenstein.
Remember what was that other one? Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Do you remember
which is also
Nazis were
bad.
the bad guys?
You gotta remind
Indiana
some people.
Jones.
Nazis are the bad guys.
Hey, actually, okay. Whoa.
Captain America.
Actually, technically, I was the bad guy in Temple of Doom.
You were.
Kali.
Mom.
Kali
Oh,
Mom.
Kali
That's
Mom,
me.
Kali Mom. You're-
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We gotta get going until we talk before we talk for like another 3 hours. So thanks for joining us, everybody, for the Animation Success Story podcast. The ass. We learned so much about Kali's big ass. She had so much to tell us about it.
We didn't-
Thanks so much.
We didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh, we forgot to. I'm
Sabrina always reminds us.
Yeah,
That's
she
why
does.
she's not here, unfortunately.
I'm.
This is my new favorite podcast.
I'm Brian.
Hi, my name's Kali Fontecchio.
Yeah.
And welcome to
No, we introduced you.
the
We
Ass
didn't-
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
This is the messiest wrap up I think we've ever had.
Can you edit it on one of us going,
Oh, one more quick thing. Okay, now.
smell you later?